Hello everybody, welcome to ToV Live. It is Valhalla time. What a new trailer was that, huh? Lovely, lovely, lovely. Have we got a show for you tonight, folks? We have so much to talk about, so many things that we wanted to say yesterday. Now that we can recollect our thoughts, now we're on tonight to talk about it tonight. Heroscape, Age of Annihilation, Vanguard Edition. Yes, yes, yes. That's, I mean, it's just, there's so much to cover tonight. It's just gonna be a night. And we, if you can see right here, we have a special guest with us. Well, first, let's, okay, usual suspects right now. Above me right here is Ben, MK Plus Ultra, Joe, aka Joe Crazy, Jeremy the Elysium Call It, Jason, Rocker Robotics, and special guest tonight for a little bit is Sir Heroscape himself.
Howdy.
Welcome to you, Sir Heroscape. Good to
glad
have
to be
you.
here. Yeah, glad to be here. Good to see you guys.
Good to have you on ToV Live. And just real quick, just say most people will know, but just for the record, where are you from? What is your YouTube? What is your content?
Yeah. So, Sir Heroscape obviously is my tagline. Been doing, Heroscape since I was a kid, like many of you. Recently, really it was about 7 years ago that I started getting more involved in the community with my channel as well. And then really just since that's kicked off, I've just tried to be as involved as I can to keep the game alive. Obviously, now the game has an opportunity to be back. So trying to be even more involved, just like you guys, which is really exciting. Was originally out in Boise area. Now I'm out in the Midwest, so Iowa. So any of you guys in the Iowa areas, obviously come out and hit me up. But yeah, just excited to be here. We're living a dream. Well, almost. We're almost there. We're not quite there yet. But,
getting there.
The
dream can happen.
The dream can happen. So yeah.
Absolutely. And you mentioned something that I just want to talk about really quickly, and then it's over with and done, and we'll move on to the fun stuff. You mentioned something in your most recent video about us coming together as a community. How did you say it? It was, finding common ground, basically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And could you just repeat what you said? Because I really like that, and I think that really establishes how we should present ourselves, and as a community we should present ourselves to each other.
Yeah. So I mean, the thing about Heroscape is that it's been around for a really long time, right? And so we call them kind of the old guard, right? A lot of us that have been active even after Heroscape is, I would say, discontinued. I won't say dead, because Heroscape was never really dead. We kept it going. And then you have the new guard, I guess you could say, or the next generation of Heroscapers. Those are the people that now will have an opportunity to get into Heroscape, as well as people that maybe used to be around, weren't around for the last 12 years, and so now they're coming back into it. So you kind of have these two groups of people, right? Now that Heroscape has an opportunity to come back, you have the old guard that are a little bit frustrated potentially about maybe the cards or the different things that they expected based off of what they've been doing the last 12 years. Then you have the new people trying to get into the game that might be frustrated because it's not what they expected when they wanted Heroscape to come back, or because they're a new player and they're just learning about it. Regardless, the community is divided on a number of different things, but the one thing that we have to unify ourselves on is what I was saying, is the common ground is bring Heroscape back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So regardless of our opinions on all the different decisions that are being made, right, we're all going to have our opinions because, I like this because this is how it was then, I like this because this is how it should be, right? Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we have to come on the same platform and say we need to bring it back, because if it doesn't, then none of us are going to get what we want.
Exactly.
So it's like,
absolutely well said.
If neither of us come to, like, if we both don't come together, if the groups don't come together and say, hey, no matter what, we need it back, then no one's going to get what they want. And it's like, that's the problem with a lot of this negativity that we're already seeing in the first few days, is just that it might deter people from getting into the game if they see that the community is already divided, right? Is someone that's first hearing about it, or someone that's worried about XYZ, it's just going to make more of a hesitation for them with the negativity. So if they see that old, new, young, you know, tall, short, whatever, everyone is coming together and saying, hey, let's bring this back, it's going to make us, you know, actually get the game back. And so the fact that people are shooting ourselves in the foot already, I'm just like, you guys stop. Like, we don't need to freak out just yet. We need to freak out maybe when it fails, then we can freak out. But right now we need to just push, you know, come together. So that's kind of my point.
No, you're absolutely right, because the one thing, you know, even coming back to it after so many years, and I trying to get myself into this community and trying to meet everybody, and finally went to ScapeCon this past summer to meet all of you, I realized of like, finally feel like I'm a part of something. And everybody, they were so eager to play the game, talk about it. It was probably one of the best 4 days vacation I've ever been on, just for that connection factor. And so if we can show new people that come into the game that same feeling that I had, we could grow this community to be even bigger and better than we could ever imagine.
Yeah.
It definitely has that potential, and I think if there's ever time that we needed to unite, kind of like what Thorum says in the trailer here.
There you go. There's the transition.
Yeah, yeah. I'll just read towards the end. Basically, my world no longer needs a scholar or a historian; it needs a hero. And I'm out. And I could rephrase that into saying, the love of Heroscape no longer needs just a gamer or a storyteller. It needs us to be heroes. So, absolutely. So, yeah, well said. And I think that's all we need to say about that. I'm just gonna read a couple. We have some people in the chat. Welcome everybody. I'm Damp Pick, Arable. Welcome Malari, Marion. Lovely to see you guys. Let me just read these a second. Undamp Pick says, I had plans to see a Ringo Starr tonight, but got postponed because he fell sick. On the bright side, I can now watch live. Going to be a great show. Lots to talk about. Absolutely. Marion, it's in Spanish. I apologize. Even though my wife is bilingual and I've been married to her for 13 years, I still don't know Spanish. But Undamp Pick also says, Sir Heroscape is joining you. Yes, he is here for a little bit tonight. Undamp Pick.
I can translate if you need me to.
Yeah, go ahead, Jimmy.
Yeah, she's saying she's excited to know what happened yesterday. You know, she's like super emotional, wants to know what happened to us yesterday. So
for sure,
for the reveal.
Sure.
We died of excitement.
We might talk about that for a second as well. Why not? But Undamp Pick also says 2004 was 18 years ago. Hard to believe. Yeah. Right. And for some of us, when it's
go ahead, make us feel old. Cool.
Yeah,
that's a whole generation.
2004. I mean, me and Jason, we were in our mid-20s, and we were actually doing like podcasts and shows.
I'm not going to say my age at 2004,
as well as other games. So yeah, it's been a while. Still glad to be in the game of doing this though. Like Arable says hello. I've heard news got dropped. What news is that? Things are happening. Even as we're live streaming, apparently, and it's like it's hard to pay attention to the Discord chat all the time. So it's just like, let's see here. Riloy Spankin says, "Ahoy, ahoy! Hello, welcome to the stream." Arable says, "Joe lost his bike." Did you lose your bike?
Oh
Joe?
no, it's there.
Did you?
It's just behind me now.
Ah, okay, gotcha.
It's hidden. You'll never know it's there.
Arable,
One day, maybe
Arable says,
maybe we'll just move it to another room for you.
Arable, enjoy it while you can, okay? Because it goes by very, very fast, but it's well worth it. Anyway, welcome everybody to the chat, to the stream. We will address comments as we can. But yeah, actually, let's talk for a second about yesterday. Just the whole the fun time of that 45 minutes of just fun. Looking at the Hasbro PulseCon, and I mean, it was kind of nuts with us in Discord, because, and I kind of figured this was going to happen, that it's like we were going to watch everything, and it's hard to talk about something that's happening right before your eyes and paying attention, because you're trying to pay attention, and so you're going to miss things. And I haven't even rewatched that the whole bit yet. when it comes
Oh,
to.
it's definitely worth a watch.
Oh,
Just
I'm
to see
sure. I'm sure
Craig,
I have to.
Patrick, and Chris. Oh my God, they're looking good today. They're looking good.
I'm actually helping with a transcript project. We're documenting the things for those hard of hearing that can't actually watch and hear what's going on. We're writing down all the words.
Oh, good.
So I've actually been rewatching it like really closely and listening to what they say,
Nice.
so I can type up the words.
That's a dream job.
No, it's definitely worth a rewatch. They go over a lot of information, and I missed out on a lot of stuff in the live reel that I was able to catch by rewatching. So highly encourage a rewatch when you get a chance. For sure.
Yeah, and there was some mix up on Discord during that time. I mean, there was it was like standing room only type thing in a room of 25 people, which I guess they didn't anticipate. Poor Bill. But I mean, hopefully that's something that can be fixed in the future. And I hope they I don't think as far up to the time of this we're recording this, they haven't released that on YouTube yet. I hope they do sometime soon because I would love to share.
Yeah,
that.
we'll hopefully reach out when they have free time. They can answer us about what they plan on doing with that.
Right. As far as I know, they plan to release it, but they haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. A quick note on a quick note on the Discord thing. It's actually it's kind of funny. That was like probably a year ago or something. I actually knew that was an issue because I was trying to set something up to do live through Discord. I was looking at doing live events through Discord ever. And I felt so dumb because I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
It's just like when Leaf had posted, he was like, yeah, only 25 people in a video chat. I was like, oh dude, I totally knew that. And it's like, because I would have brought that up a long time ago, right? Because this is new for Avalon Hill. Like Avalon Hill is the first time they've let a Discord channel be a thing.
Hasbro.
Hasbro, exactly. It's basically, they're testing it out. It's an experiment for them. So it totally makes sense that none of them really knew all the intricacies of what's possible. And I even went onto a thread about Discord's roadmap on the future updates. And basically, that's a major issue. It's like content creators like you guys, you gotta allow more than 25 people in a video chat. Like, come on now. And so they do have it on the roadmap to increase it. I think it's to 100 in the next year or so, or something like that. Like,
that'd be nice.
It's just like right now, that's a Discord hard line. Like, it's not a something they can update. Not right now, anyway.
Right.
So something to keep in mind in the future. Avalon Hill, come on.
Right.
For sure. And so that's a little bit what happened yesterday. You guys have some videos. Now we're talking about tonight, so we kind of get to do a revision of what could have been yesterday, and we take a longer time. We take our time and have some fun with this tonight. So I'm glad we are able to do these podcasts, this live stream. So now, let's get to the first order of business, which is the trailer. Now, not really interested in seeing. I mean, it's a very nice trailer. Visually, it's a very nice trailer. But it's what is being said. What is what the voice? Who's this voice actor again?
So the voice actor is Baldermort, is a content creator on YouTube who does lore videos and content for Warhammer 40K, and he actually has this whole narrative format stuff he does for 40K lore videos. Super cool.
It's really cool.
Oh, I've heard him before. Yes.
Joe knows. Yeah, that guy. He's the voice of Thorman now.
He sounds a lot like the original.
And it's really close.
Thorman. Yeah, it's very close. It's very. I don't know if he looked at old videos and tried really hard to copy the voice or make it as similar to that as possible. If he put any time to it. If he did, kudos to him. Or if not, if it just came out, that's how it came out. Excellent then, even. But that was really nice. But let's go through I was able to transcribe the lines, and I want to go through and see what does this mean to the lore and the story in Heroscape, and let's make our thoughts and our guesses on this first starting out tonight. So let's start at the beginning. First line: we thought the Wellsprings were a blessing. We thought they gifted us with the powers of gods. Now, kind of speaking in like a past tense thing here, to where, so the Wellsprings now, are they looking at the Wellsprings differently during Age of Annihilation now? I mean, obviously Thorum is.
So my perspective is like, think of like the Lord of the Rings. I kind of, there's a parallel here with the Rings of Power. Or well, not the Rings of Power, not the show itself. I'm talking about the actual rings in the Lord of the Rings that were given.
The 9 rings.
Yeah, the 9 rings, and elves, dwarves, men. Like at the onset, it was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. We're unified. We have all these powerful rings. Like we're going to be able to do so much and bless our civilizations, right? But then it's like, in hindsight, you realize it was all a master plan. It was all a trap. It was all some sort of, crazy, intricate, anyway, world-shattering issue, right? And so it's like, I don't know that they're going that route, the Wellsprings, but at the very least, we know that in hindsight, they're like, oh my gosh, we thought this was going to be so good for us, and it just ended up creating massive chaos and war, So that's kind of where I see it going, is they have the opportunity to have a deeper plot line where they're like, oh no, actually, this was something bigger and intentional versus just something random, but I don't know if we're actually going to go that route or not.
Right. And what he says, like, let me get to just the next 2 lines. It says, visions of the future, armies summoned from distant galaxies, we were wrong. So there seems to be kind of like a distrust in the Wellsprings now. I know Chris has kind of hinted on this sometimes, to where like possibility of the Wellsprings, like why are they there? Like get into origins of why did they appear? Is something controlling them? Or based on their appearance, is it really supposed to be a blessing or a curse? The whole, if you take power, what do you have to give in order to have that in that exchange? So yeah, and how does that affect Valhalla? How does it affect the characters in the story?
I'm really excited because this is probably going to be picking up somewhere after Swarm and Tomorrow's completion and everything like that. And so there's this nice little hint in Carmine dropped. Actually, he mentioned it in the Discord because someone had asked. If you look on the product page and you see what they actually have a specific name for the trees and the ruins, and they use the word Lour, right? Lour. And so Lour is actually in the center of the Valhalla continent, right? So it's like they're focusing. I have a prediction, because this is all we really have. But I think like the conflict is now coming back to the center of the continent. Like everything they did down there in the jungles during Swarm of Tomorrow was good, but then it's like, okay, hey, we need your help. It's getting worse back up here, or something like that. So now they have to go back up to the north, and that's where the fight starts. And so these 20 scenarios are going to try to explain why we're in Lour again, And I think this has something to do with what Thorman's saying about how, okay, no, we actually messed up all of everybody. We shouldn't have been doing this, like, from day one. Like, we messed up bad. And so they're trying to either rectify the mistake or figure out a way out of it, because here's Revna coming in with the bugs.
Yeah, you have more Valkyries revealing themselves, or
more. Yeah, they're just appearing out of nowhere, and it's like
themselves a bit.
The stress of that is probably freaking Jandar and the others out. So, and their alliances are falling apart as a result. So
this a thought that came to my mind was what's it called when if you see the future and you try to avoid your future? A self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah,
I think that's what this might be alluding to. Is Thorman's basically we thought these were showing us the future as a way to warn us and prepare, but by doing so, we just ended up fulfilling the future, right?
Okay,
that's maybe what he's getting at. Is basically we created our own chaos, we created our own future that we thought we were seeing. When if we just left it alone, nothing happens.
All right, and go ahead, Joe. Do you have something to say?
No, I was gonna say, can you really? It's like kind of like Final Destination. It's like, can you actually really, go past that? Like, if once you see your future, how do you avoid it? Because no matter what, it's going to be your future.
Yeah.
So there really is no way to get away from it at that point.
Yeah.
No, that's always a similar plot in one of the games I play. There's a character that can see the future, and she knows she can't change it, right? But she knows it's going to happen because it's in the future. The thing is about her vision is that she gets no context about it, right? So like she spends the entire plot device where she's just like trying to avoid various situations that lead to that particular point. But no, every time she's doing that, it then ends up leading to that point that she saw in her vision, and then then the future happens, and then she's like, oh well, it wasn't as bad as I thought, and it happens every time with this character. And it's just it's so crazy to really think about it in like a time sense. But yeah, you can't even if you foresee it, it's still going to happen. It's just you don't have that context, and that's a big thing about the Valkyrie visions. Did they ever have context about their visions, or were they just seeing images with no context? Without that, they're not going to make very good decisions, because they're going to be operating in panic. I mean, they were always describing these visions as nightmares. These are probably very terrifying things to witness, and so they're reacting in emotion, they're reacting in response to that. So probably why a lot of this is like, oh, let me try to avoid this, leading directly to the problem itself.
It might be one of the reasons why you have some of these characters now distrusting the Valkyrie generals. It could be a reason.
From a lore perspective, do we know if all these visions and prophecies all point to the same thing, or are they different futures?
We've only had one.
Generals are seeing. Okay.
Yeah, we've only had one tell us. Yeah, Jandar tells us about his future vision, but I don't think the others have said anything about what they've seen yet. So,
I mean, you could even just say at a very simple level, if you've got something of unlimited source of power, like the Wellsprings, and you got some power-hungry nutjob named Utgar who gets one, you're kind of forced into that horrific future, whether you want to avoid it or not. You could do nothing, and you've now got a giant, crazy guy leading a massive army coming at you.
Yeah.
And your only option is to respond.
Right.
Exactly.
It's the Valhalla version of mutually assured destruction with nuclear weapons.
Well, yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I mean, again, we don't really know what annihilation means. What are we talking about when it comes to annihilation? What is being annihilated?
The balance has been disrupted. That's all they said.
Yep.
Yeah, it could just be Valhalla. I think one of the things was like the story of Ragnarok. So it's possible that if by chance this gets funded and we go into the future with Valhalla, we might be coming out somewhere else. We might have to find a new place to live, for the Kyrie to live. If Valhalla gets
at the very end, if we ever get that far in the story.
Yeah.
Hey, Thorman's going to stop it. He's already planning.
I definitely absolutely want to see a Thorman figure.
Yeah. Let me
after hearing that, I'm like, bro.
He's
ready to fight now. So.
Let's continue reading.
I want to see what it looks like.
Let's continue reading this. And so
all right, go ahead.
We can get through this. It says the Wellsprings bring our world nothing but pain, nothing but suffering and endless destruction. Driven to war to protect them from the clutches of Utgar and his minions, the Valkyries came together in a fleeting moment of hope. And I think is that reference to Swarm of the Morrow then?
Yeah, the alliance.
That would
they were all together.
That alliance. Okay, that's probably what it's talking about. And it says, "But my visions of the future drove me to despair." Now, what is he talking about there? What visions is he seeing that's driving him to despair?
He was having dreams. Last we left him, he was having this weird experience where he was in the body of a wolf, and he was describing this whole thing in one of his journals, and he perceived it as it was a residual effect of the Wellsprings. And they never really explained what that vision meant. It was just written there where he was a wolf, and then he followed this eagle to a pool, and he drank the water, realized it was Wellspring water, and he looked up and he saw a snake, and then he was just, that was it. That was the vision. But it was it was super cryptic and weird, and so he probably interpreted, or he was starting to receive more stuff that was getting him because I mean, when you start seeing things like that and you don't know how to explain it, it does mess with your head a little bit. I mean, it's he thought he was a wolf. That's.
Can I throw out a crackpot theory here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
what
we're
my tinfoil.
With what you just said, with his vision seeing a wolf and maybe an eagle, you know, maybe stretching it a bit. It sounds like familiars of the Dryan Lightborn Order. I know it's a lot to think about there.
That's a point.
Yeah, they could be using that.
So, and so, didn't they say something about life and death too?
Yeah, he did. I think it's like what in the trailer.
Yeah,
that might be further down. Let's see.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, but my visions of the future drove me to despair. I gave up everything the Wellspring provided, and we already know this a little bit about his. So he's just kind of retelling his history a little bit, the strength, the armies, the visions. Until I saw my home reduced to ash. Now, has that happened within the Storm in the Mara timeline? Okay.
It actually was after Rise of Valkyrie in the second journal entry. He was basically a vagabond. Like, he was just traveling from place to place, hiding, because he, he was the first one to discover the Wellspring, so he blames himself. So he's hiding, and then he finds out his hometown got razed to the ground. Like, the Tialaron is the name of his place. You know, he doesn't even know this the future, like his family. It said his brother and his like the family members that were still there. He doesn't know what happened to them. He just knows that entire town got wasted. So that's what got him to join Jandar, because he wanted to do something to stop it. So.
And the next line here in the trailer, it's a little controversial because I hear something, and I think Jeremy was hearing something different.
And the transcribers hear something else.
Yeah,
and so I'm like, no.
And so I asked for like a transcript, like from the people at Valhalla. I haven't gotten a response yet back. So this is what I think I hear, and then I'll say what Jeremy thinks he hears. But it says, until I heard the whispers of rumors, or until I heard the whispers and rumors of our Valkyrie and other Wellsprings. But Jeremy thinks he hears of other Valkyrie and other Wellsprings. Is that right?
Yeah, that's one of the suggestions.
What's the difference there? Sorry.
It's just the way he's speaking.
Until I heard the whispers and rumors of other Valkyrie and other Wellsprings. I'm pretty sure I hear R, but it's muffled just enough to where it's kind of hard to tell. But I think this is talking about future events. Then this is talking about maybe Age of Annihilation events, probably.
Or Valkyrie.
Yeah. Not.
I just happen to have a printout of some of his journal entries right here from when we talked about it a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
In journal entry number 11, he mentions 6 known Valkyrie receive visions: Utgar, Thorman, Einar, Ular, and Vidar, and me.
Mm-hmm.
So other, he could be saying other Valkyrie receive visions other than just the one Jandar we know about.
Yeah, because they were trying to figure, they didn't have very good information. Like, when I think they tried to first send scouts to talk to Ular, those scouts got assassinated like immediately en route. And so that's why they became the second group to do so. Like, because Jandar was like, all right, I can't just rely on basic units. I need really powerful individuals to cross and get my information to where it needs to go. And and who knows who got powers in that time frame where they were traveling and all this time in Swarm and the Morrow. Who knows who else drank Weapon of Wellsprings. Like, there are people getting powers left and right that they didn't know about. So it was definitely a very difficult war to keep track of. Plus they don't have the internet, so
And continuing, it says, not knowing where those allegiances would fall drove me even further into madness. Driven by revenge, I could no longer sit idly by. And if I do nothing, I would lose more than my home. I would lose everything. So this sounds like, this now comes a change in his attitude a little bit, which goes further on in the trailer, to where now this is a side of this character we've never really seen before. He's been completely pacifist the whole time. Now it seems like he's a character who's about to rise up and become within part of that conflict, which is an interesting turn, because I don't think we see that in any other of the journals.
No, he was an emissary. So he did all the diplomatic stuff.
Right.
And also, like, it says in there too, like, he's too old. There's at one point where he's talking about the castle walls that they see in the distance, and he said if he was still like drinking from the Wellsprings in his younger days, he would be able to count the stones that made the fortress. So it's always been like in the days of his past, like, you know, that the days are behind me. It always seemed in his journals. But like you said, a change in tone got me really excited. Like, wow, he's seeing the destruction, and not only, like you said, not only will it be his homeland, but literally everything that is around him. So it was really cool to hear that change in him, and it made me think, like, where's his figure? Like, we're not already getting his figure, because he sounded like he's about to get up into action. So
yeah.
And for what it's worth too, I heard our Valkyrie in other Wellsprings.
Okay.
That's what I heard.
So it'd be good to get an official transcript.
Yeah, because he's saying our in other Wellsprings, but then the next line he literally says, "But I question where their allegiances lie." So
yeah.
But yeah, that's.
And he probably knows what happened to Raylan, so he is concerned about these other new Kyrie that we are introduced to, and figure out, okay, well, are they good? Are they bad? Like, whose side are they on? Like, what's happening?
That could be too. He already previously knew about them, and he has prior knowledge of them, and they were at one point maybe allies, or just, you know, like what is it? Like, not like you're like acquaintances. Like, they are acquaintances, but now it's driving him crazy. Whether are they good or are they bad? Like, have they swayed? Like, you know, we used to know each other back in the day, but now me not even knowing where their allegiances lie are driving me crazy. So I could definitely see that this age of annihilation driving people to madness. So that's really interesting.
Now, this is an interesting line after I would lose everything. The world reduced to the memory of a flame. What does that mean? And what world? Is Valhalla?
That's deep.
Or Earth? Yeah. Or what are we talking about here?
Maybe the galaxy? They're the world that they all share?
I don't know, but to the memory of a flame, that's just an interesting way to word things, and it doesn't sound happy. It doesn't sound happy.
I think it's like metaphoric in the sense, like, you know, fire doesn't last long. So like a memory of a flame, it's just gonna fade away forever. Like not even have residual presence. Like, it's just gonna disappear. So.
I wonder if it's an even deeper metaphor of talking about Heroscape in our own reality.
Oh.
Well,
when it comes to
the last little bits, are really, I mean,
that's deep. That's deep, Joe.
That just makes me want to cry.
I get the same type of vibe.
If we don't succeed now,
it's a memory of a flame.
It's just gonna burn away somehow. I mean, it won't, because we'll keep it alive. There's always a flame. We're the kindle to the fire. But I mean, it's the one way to perceive what he is saying.
Oh, for sure. Oh, I'll just finish it. You can be a hero or a pacifist, but you cannot be both. Peace is but a dream in Valhalla, a dream I can no longer seek. I will carve my name into my enemies. I love that line. That's an awesome line.
Yeah. I love it.
Everyone.
He says it with teeth too.
Oh, it's good.
You can hear him just grit there, and you're just like, oh man.
I'm literally listening to it again as Ryan reads it, and he like amps it up. That line and the line after it, he like really gets into it.
Very nice inflection. And everyone will know who stands against them. Basically, it's him stating, when people see me, they're gonna know who I am, which kind of reveals that this guy seems like he's a bit more powerful than what we probably perceived or thought.
He was the first Valkyrie, you know, like, does always have anybody who's the first of anything always knows the best, right? Like, so,
it's the experience, it's the level.
Right. He probably just went back, drank some water, and he's like, "Oh, here's my powers again."
He's been grinding for so long. He was like, you know what? I gotta quit the game. I'm gonna just kind of watch the YouTube videos, and then I'll come back to playing later on.
That's funny. It parallels Matthias Maccabeus. Ken, like he's storming. He's like, okay, it's time to get back in the game. Yeah, but like literally though, it's like he took himself out of the game. Like I'm not talking about Kenny anymore, but Thorman like took himself out of the game, and he's been like literally traveling, like keeping low key, like so low key that other people like don't even know his strength, and to the point where it's probably been centuries, I want to guess, since he's shown his like full power. So nobody really knows what he's capable of, and that's
and
awesome.
he hid his power too. The whole time he was actually drinking from the waters. He was hiding from everyone else. He did not introduce himself to anybody. He didn't talk to anybody. He just sat and observed and took notes for 60 years. So who knows what he knows during that 60 years of like survival experience, or like objective survive that he did that whole time. Like he's probably got a lot of secrets we don't know yet. So
with great power comes great responsibility. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to mention that. I think in the journals he was saying that like he found the wellspring, he drank from it and noticed that it like healed him or rejuvenated him. He's like, oh cool, And then as he kept drinking, he's like, oh, like my wings are bigger. What the crap? He's like, oh, I'm stronger. Holy, what the? And so he keeps drinking it, and like you're saying, taking notes, and he's like, now I'm seeing visions. This is weird.
He knows everything.
So very, like you're saying, he's had a substantial amount of time just on his own drinking of the wellsprings, where now that, exactly. It's kind of like in Airbender, Zuko, what's the uncle's name?
Iroh, General Iroh.
It's like just like that. You're just like,
Dragon of the West.
You know that dude's PA the entire time.
For sure.
Like, what can he actually do? Then when he does it, you're just like, oh,
he's so cool. He's so cool. That last episode, he saved
just like
Say all by himself. Like it's.
So that's like full moon. I'm just like, oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Thorman's coming back, man.
Yeah,
that's a great comparison.
And then the last two lines: "My world no longer needs a scholar or a historian; it needs a hero." And I kind of like that speaks. That kind of speaks to all of us too. Like just to prepare yourself to replay the game, whatever scenarios they're going to come up with, but as well as just bringing Heroscape back and being part of that as well. That speaks a lot to me. I don't know about you guys.
Oh, for sure.
This is kind of totally different from separate from what you just said, but just the fact that whatever's happening in this Age of Annihilation is bringing back Thorman like actually into the game, like because like before he had a little bit, he's like, we got to stop Utgar, so let me be an emissary and I'll go around, but now he's literally about to pick back up his sword and his shield and start getting back into the action after he's already seen like carnage, he's already seen Utgar's like rampant destruction, but he is still like chose to be an emissary, chose to be a pacifist, but now like he's like thrown that down and now he's ready to pick it back up, so to speak. So that's it's again just like lore wise, it's like this is such a build up to like what is actually going down, like what has happened on Valhalla to make generals summon more units, and then also for him to really like get back in the game. So it's awesome.
And I think, Sir Heroscape, I know you only got a few minutes left with us on the live stream. If it's possible, can we talk about one more subject that I want to talk about, which is evil Raylan? Because I didn't realize that there's some people that aren't happy with an evil Raylan. And I'm just like, what? Seriously? Especially like I saw this on the this is one thing I did see on the chat, that someone said that Craig they heard Craig confirm the fact, what my theory was a few weeks ago, that Raylan wasn't forced into evil, she chose that path. And so that's what I heard.
If you rewatch the panel, if you rewatch the panel, Chris explains that she chooses to go evil.
Okay.
So there's a personal motive that causes her, like, we don't know what that motive is, but there's a motive that she has that has convinced her that serving Utgar is for her best interest.
Nice. I like to write about that. So yeah.
It plays into the whole, Thorman's madness, because he even says, like, I'm glad she's on our side. Turns out she's not. Oh no, so if he can't figure out who's on the good side and who's not, like, I mean, that would make you very, very paranoid very quickly.
Yeah.
So let's talk about let's talk about that for a second. That and the possible game mechanics of that miniature.
Well, in terms of playing devil's advocate, because you're saying like who wouldn't want Raylan to go evil or whatever. So first off, my opinion is I think it's great. I think it's cool. But if I'm thinking devil's advocate from the perspective of someone that might be frustrated that we did that, or that they're doing that, is I guess there's this kind of classic, good versus evil kind of feeling in Heroscape, right? And since the beginning, we kind of had, our Sergeant Drake and our Raylan, right? And more than any of the other units, those were the two that, and maybe in a young boy's fantasy, they, had a thing, right? They had some romance. I don't, maybe there was something going on there, but, it's like, it's like when your favorite character, dies, right? You're kind of like pissed for a minute because you're like, dude, like, but he was the main character, or he was like a main part of the, storyline. And so I can see why some people might feel a little bit betrayed by the storyline when you have like the two main characters that we're following. Now one of them is suddenly turning to Ukkar. Now there's no confirmation that, she's going to become the most evil leader of Ukkar. Like, maybe there will be a redemption arc where, again, she willingly chooses, maybe she willingly comes back,
right.
Who knows, right? But I guess I can see it from a perspective of, for someone that's been kind of locked into this good versus evil, and those are the two constants of good. And now that we're like, hey, by the way, now she's evil and she chose evil. It's like, really? Like, why? Why would you do that? I can understand that aspect. For me personally, I'm just like, cool, let's go for it.
That's why we got to back the project to find out why she went
exactly. Yeah.
Well, it's not even just.
I'm asking the same question. Why now? Why?
Well, it's not even, to me, it's not even just why. Is after what Heroscape says is that we now have to go forward and save her. We have to fund it and get to the
Rescue Raylan, Rescue Raylan.
Evil and have them bring it back. We have motivation. We have story lore motivation to go and find out and save our Raylan, our knight in shining armor.
For sure.
Yeah,
we still technically need the Raylan 3.0 because this is evil Raylan. So we need to go save her, and then we'll get the Raylan 3.0. So that's good point, Joe.
I think it's really cool that they are developing that type of character arc, though, and I would like to see character arc progression in that way, not with just Raylan, but other characters as well, and see what. It's one thing that really needs to be worked on is the lore and the story, because if you have an engaging story, people will become more engaged into the game and everything involved in it. So I like what they're doing, and it makes me just hope for more in the future, and they just keep on expanding on that. And I know there's a lot of comments in the chat. I will address them in a minute, but I know Sir Heroscape cannot be with us for the whole live stream, so if you want to sign off now, we can give you a graceful farewell, and just we thank you so much for joining us in the time that you had.
Thank you.
And you're always welcome to come back in the future for sure. It's lovely having conversation with you. If you would like, just go ahead and shout out your YouTube channel again, and of course, if you're watching this on YouTube or on the ToV Podcast audio sphere, links will be in the description below on the Tales of Valhalla YouTube channel to go to Sir Heroscape's channel and look at his update videos and everything, all the content he provides. He's well thick and thin just very thick in the Heroscape community, so everybody should know who he is. But if you don't, you'll find a link in the description below there. But go ahead, give your final thoughts on what you think about everything that's going on this weekend, and then give us your channel.
Cool. Yeah. So, well, first off, thank you again, and it's been fun. You guys are a good crowd. Spend time with, obviously, the content creators of Heroscape are few but growing. I'll say that. I think if this gets funded, I think we're going to see an explosion of content, not only in our own channels, but just in people in general. So, I think continuing this up is a great idea in terms of just getting the community together in different ways, right? However we're doing it is awesome. So great job, all of you. This has been awesome. So Sir Heroscape's my channel. In terms of a final say-off for this weekend, you know, Heroscape's back, baby. We just gotta. This is our chance to do it, right?
Yep.
You know, one thing I do want to end with is what was really cool when I was thinking about this is that everyone behind the scenes that's been involved, they had to zip their lip for over a year and put in hours and hours on end. Some of these aren't even getting paid. Like some of the playtesters are just volunteer work. You know, they were asked to do this thing. They had to sign an NDA. They didn't, you know, and they just said, "Hey, help us out." So they've done their work, and now it's on us to do our side, right? And I think that's tough to tell people because our side is really just paying them. You know, it's really just
yeah.
You don't have to do a lot of work. It's really just like, hey, here's a check. You know, so it's a little bit of a weird like your responsibilities to pay us for this, but you know what I mean? It's like the opportunity is here for us to bring back the game that we love, and so that opportunity is only going to come once in a lifetime. You know, if nothing else, we'll have to wait another 20 years. So now, let's not think about that. So let's get it done now, and appreciate the time. Thank you guys, and that's all I've got for you tonight. So appreciate it.
All right,
it's a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, see you guys.
Yeah, thanks for joining.
Later.
See
you later.
All right, wonderful. Now let me get to these comments because I know we've had a few in the time that we were talking. So let me see. Let me get to and you know I just realized that I did not screenshot because we did have some comments from last Thursday's on the YouTube video last Thursday, and I forgot to screenshot those. So I might try and get them and just read them, but I don't think I'll be able to get them up here on the screen tonight, or I might just address them next week. So that way we just have a pile of that stuff. But I apologize for that, but we will address those YouTube comments probably next time. But anyway, so all of you on the live chat, thank you again so much for commenting and being involved here. Let me see here. Let me get to where let's see here. Let's see. Okay, get to this. Undamped Pick says, I was really disappointed that I couldn't watch the watch party capped at 25, including the panel. Is the archive available somewhere? Like we said, yeah, I know it was a mess up. I mean, hopefully we'll be able to do it better in the future. And right now, as far as we know, no, nothing's up. But when it is, I'm sure all of us will share.
Clip it. We're clipping it in the chat. We're clipping it
as quickly as we possibly can.
Some good moments in there.
Let's see here. Stormbrook. Okay, I guess the news that was dropped I don't know, but it says on Discord they confirmed they weren't going to make a $100 package. Okay. And let's see here. Undead Pick says, why would they add a cheaper tier after campaign is already launched? Yeah, I mean, what we have. The Vanguard edition is what we gotta go with. I know that they're going to be doing things because they were talking today that they're actually not done in giving out stuff. They have plans over the course of these next 44 days during the crowdfunding campaign. So we just have to wait and see what they have in mind. Let's see here. Let's see. I don't think it makes much, but yeah, business sense of cheaper option. Yeah. Okay. Stormbrook says, yeah, Income Rain already said no. Yep. Stormbrook says, about the lore, what do you think about the Wellspring? Or don't they provide longer life? Yes, we have talked about it in the past. How has Drake survived a longer life than normal? Yeah, we've discussed those things in previous podcasts. Wait a minute. Do the Valkyrie have the ability to bring back alternate characters from just like in Marvel? Yeah, I'm sure all these lore concepts within the Avalon Hill team are being explored, because it's funny, some of the things we talk about in these podcasts, we end up finding, yeah, they've already done that. They've already discussed that, or you know, they're already doing that. So, yeah, those are questions.
Can I ask a question about that?
Yeah.
Do we know, has there ever been any like alternative history characters? Like, there's not like any humans that are like from like an alternate Earth timeline or something, right?
Well, you got like Agent Carr. You got Agent Carr.
That's like,
and then
that's technically Earth's future that we just don't know yet. Sitting here,
could be an alternate possible Earth future.
Yeah, no, we don't have any like alternate reality versions of the characters we currently have. And you might be referring to like, because we do have 2 Drakes, but that's always been like a gameplay mechanic rather than a, you know, like it's not like 2 Drakes on the field or anything like that. That is just it was just a fun little way to show progression in time, to show progression in the story. But like, you can't play both Drakes. Like, you play one Drake or the other Drake, because that's one of the unique rules is not playing the same character. You can only play one unique character. So.
Well, imagine that, having a gameplay mechanic where you it just happened to be unique, and you can't play as 2 Drakes. Also a lore mechanic. Okay.
You know, I actually have I have a Tales of Valhalla idea in the future, to where within the Tales of Valhalla universe, I mean, because all the stuff that is Tales of Valhalla storyline is technically in the past now, which is fine, but bringing Age of Annihilation characters into the future is an idea I have. I don't know if I'm going to go forward with that or not when I start writing future scripts, but having an evil Raylan come back in time to face off with good Raylan would be an interesting fight.
Oh, okay. I see where you're going with this.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, that's just my own filmmaking mind. But okay, Undamped picks. We do have a lot of comments, so let me continue with these. Thorgrim should have been a stretch goal along with the machine gun penguin. You know what? That might be. If there's other crowdfunding stuff, or I mean, why not instead of a stretch goal? Why not, once this crowdfunding campaign is done, they just have this stuff set to release to buy in the future? How about that?
Especially for the machine gun.
Exactly.
The machine gun was drawn to be a miniature.
I mean, all these things that we don't have in the Vanguard set are teases for what can happen in the future if this campaign is completed. So, just keep that in mind.
Keep that in mind.
Let's see, Undepick says, if the game gets funded but the evil Raylan stretch goal doesn't get met, should that storyline still be canon? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'd like it to be, but I mean, you know what? They can do whatever they want to do with that.
Yeah, it's up to the designers.
Yeah, it's up to designers. So, I mean, yeah, that's
they're the inheritors of the story now.
All we can give is our opinion on that. Let's see here. Stormbrook says, speaking of powers of the Valkyrie, does that mean that characters can respawn just like in a video game by the Valkyrie bringing back characters in a time loop from an earlier time than when they were first brought to Valhalla? Now, this is a lore thing that I don't know if it's ever been explored within Heroscape, but it's an interesting concept. Like
go back to the point in time
using the Wellsprings, but
just chopping that person's timeline more and more.
Oh my, yeah, that
you just keep going back.
Like 1 minute before you grab him the first time.
Right before Drake joins the military. Hey, we need you.
It's like
you died in the last version.
Groundhog Day Valhalla version, you know.
We actually picked you up later in your timeline, but then that didn't work out, so we need you now.
I think that's a Star
I haven't
Trek,
even joined the military yet.
That's a Star Trek episode or 20 of them, I think, you know. So
imagine doing that with Imperator Kane, right? Because he's the one in the mech, and it's like, oh no, Imperator Kane, he got destroyed. Oh, we'll summon another one. Okay, we'll get another one in the next game. Okay, next one comes in. It's like, wait, why is that same exact mech that I have still here? And there's just a line of them down the road, just. A line of mechs just falling over and blowing up and destroyed.
We keep trying until we get it right.
Yeah, we keep going.
Because I think that is a theory within the game. It's like every time you field them on the battle, they're almost like a copy or a placeholder, and then when they die on the battlefield, they're revived. So I could see that, but that's never really stated in the lore. Like that's what happens. That's just like you was talking about the 2 Drakes. That's just a game mechanic. Like they die in your universe. They died, but they're still alive.
Mentioned, just maybe reading too much into what they talked about yesterday in the panel, though. They mentioned specifically that the 5 heroes that were the stretch goals have survived into the Age of Annihilation, implying that others are dead and they're dead permanently.
Yes.
And the whole thing of having unique heroes in the battlefield that get killed when they shouldn't get killed in the storyline lore is just kind of a side effect of playing the game.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No.
So
it is what
fun.
it is. It's
but
yeah.
I think and Jeremy, like your comment there in the chat, also answering that temporal powers. I think the Valkyries or characters' temporal abilities because of the Wellsprings. I think that should be explored further, though. I think that could give you some really interesting storylines. So I think that's something I'm definitely going to explore for ToV, and hopefully they explore within Heroscape as well.
Yeah. Because I mean, there are two different Valkyries that pull from Earth at two separate times, but could Vidar still have pulled from, you know, the 1700s as well as 2035, you know, whatever it was, 2235 or something.
Yeah.
So that is a good point. And it's like, does it happen on purpose? Do they go specifically, you know, to where they want, or is it just like, I put my hands on the stones and I popped up on this timeline, you know? That's always going to be explored too.
I think what was told was like they would have visions and they would like be very selective with what they saw. Like what they would go through whatever they were seeing and then figure out what like appealed to them the most, kind of thing. So like Thorman had visions of the morrow, but he wanted nothing to do with them. Whereas Utgar had visions of the morrow, and he's like, all right, everybody on my team. So I think they all kind of see the same exact timeline, but then they choose what they prefer, what they think is going to serve their purposes better than any other army unit. So
yeah, that makes sense. Like they go to where they want, grab those guys.
Yeah, because they can see the whole thing, but then they want, you know, I want the Vipers, or I want the Primadon, things like that. So...
And Undamp Pick has 2 more comments before we continue. It says, getting upset when your favorite character dies. What is this, The Last Jedi? Let's not bring Star Wars into this, please. That's just too painful. Moving on, it also says, paying them while convincing others to pay too. I think that was something Sir Heroscape was referring to. I mean, we're paying, and we're not paid. We're not paid for any of this. But we're paying because we love the game. So yeah, I think that's what I gotta say about that. Okay, now let's see here. First thing we talk about, actually, let's talk about, since might as well just start at the beginning. We're gonna go back Friday on some of the things that were revealed Friday. Let's cover that first.
I don't remember what happened. This is gonna be new information for me.
And Carmine's last entry.
The War Mammoth.
Because we weren't able to cover this Thursday because it didn't come out Thursday, it came out Friday. So let's go through this. Let me just read what N. Carmine wrote. So, Designer's Notes, Day 52. Our final post ahead of tomorrow's Hasbro PulseCon. So this is basically information that all of you already know, but we're just going to rehash it because it hasn't been covered here yet. Okay, ahead of tomorrow's Hasbro PulseCon panel for Heroscape Age of Annihilation. I'd like to thank this community for its passion and constructive engagement over the last several weeks. It really has been several weeks, my goodness. This fan community has proven the value of regular and direct fan engagement. For that, we are incredibly appreciative and humbled by your reactions to the work thus far. Your energy and feedback has provided the Avalon Hill team strength as we spirited to October 1st, or sprinted. Spirited or sprinted, doesn't matter. And given us confidence that what we are creating meets the expectations of our fans. Tomorrow is an incredible opportunity for all of us to return Heroscape to the world. Yes, please consider supporting this initiative. I will therefore end our 52-day prelude to the Haslab campaign with a concept piece which I consider the most obvious trophy of this community's constructive conversation. Enjoy with a smile and a hope for this brand's future. In addition, to celebrate ahead of tomorrow's event, here are 2 of the full color artwork pieces that will bring to life Valhalla on each army card, providing that request so many of you made during these past weeks. Thank you, Heroscapers. And here, let's first take a look at, okay, I mean, we've already seen these, but those are, I mean, nice little cutouts there, you know. Very nice digital image there.
Beautiful PNG files, nice.
Of the dwarf character there. Let's see here, and here we have this. Who's this character again? Remind me.
That's Dorim.
Okay.
The bulkhead brawler.
Right. Melee and range. Yes. Lovely. And then the last.
Killian Vane the Third.
Well, I'd say the last, but the Friday's piece of concept art. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Chompy no more. Now it's Mr. Tusk.
Colonel Tusk.
There's so many weapons on that thing too. There's like an arrow, it's got a saw, it's got spikes on the
big arrow.
On
oh my gosh!
Feet.
Yeah, you see that saw sword, yeah. Oh my gosh!
I think that's from the Warbird. It looks like something from the Warbird.
It's a lovely thing. It's nice thing.
Yeah.
And then, or anything you want to talk about that? Because we do have another Friday thing to talk about that I screenshot because PulseCon did like a little preview, and then they gave us some artwork that will take a look at real quick. That it was a first. I'm amazed that no one else got the screenshot before me, but I got the screenshot of that, and then I posted it on Heroscaper's Facebook, and everyone's just like, "Whoa!" I'm like, "Weren't you guys watching?" You know?
No, they weren't.
Yeah, they weren't. I was like, "Oh, what do we miss?" It's like that, and I got it. I was the first in that. But anyway, let's just show this. Okay, look at that. That's just. This is.
That's the best.
Oh my gosh.
Why couldn't they just post that on here so we can get a 4K image? I'll make it my wallpaper.
We need a 4K image. We definitely need.
Yeah.
Because we haven't seen an image of that really anywhere. They just showed it during that little bit of PulseCon video intro. But we need to request that next week. We just like Chris, can you just drop that so we can have a good quality image of it?
Would any of you guys be surprised that on Monday we would get some sort of drop, or he would say something in the news and updates?
I'm sure they're going to let us know about some things, but I don't know. I mean, since that was
to generate hype, it's a good way to generate.
Since Friday, was
to keep it going. Yeah,
was he considered the last drop? I mean, I'm sure they're going to give us new information, but I don't know if it's going to be what they have done.
It shows the Kyrie models.
Yeah.
It could just be just so we can download those images instead of screenshotting them from the video.
Yeah.
Right.
Or even from the website, because getting some of the images from the PulseCon website or the Haslab website from the campaign, some of the images are not coming out as crisp. I thought they would. I mean, they're pretty good. Don't get me wrong, but they're not like
high quality.
The big images that we're getting here.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident they're gonna have to do something to feed more stuff out the campaign. So I don't know if they're gonna give us more images or what. There's gonna be some more marketing coming in the next 44 days.
Oh, I think so.
Oh, it has to. Yeah.
I mean, they already stated that they got plans, so we'll have to see what those are.
Yeah, it can't just be leading up to us, which, I mean, I don't mind. I have lots of ideas to market this, but I need time.
Yeah.
Do it.
I need time. Time's a big cost requirement right now.
And now with that, and then Saturday, the whole Discord fun that we had, on Discord. Anyway, thanks community anyway for watching us. Hopefully we'll be able to do stuff like that in the future, because that was fun. Manage it better. Maybe I'll just be like, hey, why don't you just give me a Twitch channel and I can just OBS and then we can just appear and there you go. Y'all can control it.
I know they wanted to use Discord. I get it. It's a new platform, but it's still forming. I think they should have just had their own Twitch channel to do it on. You're absolutely right.
Or something, or give us like a media freedom and just have us
stream it.
It's still all beta. Like everything that they're doing with the content creators, it's all a test and
for sure.
Trying to figure out what's the best route to go.
It's going to be really fun if this campaign is successful. Then
it will be.
I believe it. Like Sir Heroscape was saying before he left, I mean, this is incredible opportunity for content creators. We already see them springing forth. I think there's twice as many as there were like 2 months ago, at least from what I noticed. So, I mean, it's a great opportunity just to become more involved in the community, and as content creators, get yourself more invested in your craft of whatever you're doing, whether it be stop motion animation. Anybody? I like to see some of that. I know it's taken me several years, but you know what? I could give tips. But just playing the game in a camera with friends. I watch a lot of those, and that is just fine. Well, anything to portray your love of the game, it's a great thing. Because
any filmmakers out there want to make a short film, I plan on writing some sort of scripts at some point of like a game. I always want to do like an anime style duel video with a when you're playing the game, and it's like super serious, back and forth battles, intense. It's all scripted with the dice and all, so it's not like a real game scenario, but have it like really super serious. I would love to write something like that and bring that to film.
That would be sick. Animated board? Are you talking about like super, or just two intense players?
Too
like
intense.
In the hearts.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
Just short type,
live action, short. Yeah.
Just having.
And then moving the pieces really intense, like.
Exactly, like kind of like EscapeCon, right? We all escape. That's like EscapeCon. You watch those other players, and you're like, you're moving your guys really casual, and the other guys just dead staring at the battlefield. Like
there's some very focused people at EscapeCon. They were good at it. Yeah.
Counting out everything, waving their hands around the board, making sure everything calculates properly, and you're just like, there it is. Okay, your turn.
All right, let's dive into the title of this of this podcast and the YouTube video eventually be Heroscape Age of Annihilation Vanguard crowdfunding. So how about we get into the site and just take a look at this? All right, so right now, let's see here. Back at this present time at night, this Sunday night, we're at 1,252 backers. Not bad. And so, I mean, we're not going to like talk too much into this because, like I said, this is information that all of you probably already know. But let's just give our thoughts about a few things. Let's see. First off, this whole now, when we're looking at everything that is shown, not all of these are set in stone. Just to be clear, there are some of these that are still like could be replaced or redone before this set is get out, but this just gives you the best idea of what all these pieces are going to be. And here is just this first image. You just see everything, the walls. We can call them almost like they're ruined walls, just ruined walls on steroids, basically.
Well, what it actually, I mean, showing off that one image, right? The one image of all the walls different combines actually shows off all of the pieces that you will technically be getting, all the unique pieces that you'll be getting. And of course, two of them look like broken down walls. Otherwise, then there's pillars, then there's solid small single walls, and then there's solid double walls. And of course, they're all stackable except for the ruined ones. But and of course, arches. We got doorways. Yeah, no door, no castle door.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Doorways.
So
arches.
Is there going to be cards if there's like if there's like spaces to film these arches? Can these be like breakable walls?
Breakable objects.
Yeah.
Didn't they say something about illusionary walls?
Yeah, during the panel they were talking about illusion walls and
I think that was like
changing.
A scenario, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe there's a card. Crossing my fingers. There's a card for something like that, just to explain that rule set.
And I mean, you have glyphs, so there's going to be glyphs. We don't know what the
new glyphs because they're all face down.
Yep.
So
how exciting!
We don't.
I hope we get those.
Like you're saying, it is to be finished because literally the cards don't have any values on them. Right. There's no extra text. Like stuff still needs to be completed or finalized from this picture. But it is basically, this is what you're getting.
Right.
And I believe they can't deviate from literally what they said we were getting, like the 71 figures and the Texas,
No, they're not going to go less than that. If anything, they'll give me us more for that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
we'll add on.
We'll get into the details of what actually is going to be in there in a second. We're going to scroll down and we're gonna go through that. But yeah, I think the cards, I like them. I at least from what I mean, like I said, this could change.
Right.
The way these cards are presented, they could change, but and for me, it's the design of the cards aren't as important as what is the stats, and we don't know that yet. And I'm not sure when we will or if we will.
They've said they're still playtesting. Chris
Right.
is very serious about keeping the playtesters in their place and doing what they need to do because he doesn't want to distract them. That's the thing. Like he doesn't want to force them to feel pressured that they got to get these numbers done. They have a very specific, very precise system, and a lot of the members that are playtesting right now are from the customs creators of Valhalla. And if you've seen them work, they take a very, very dedicated amount of time to do what they do. So Chris does not want to disrupt that. So he said, until they're done playtesting, we're not going to see stats. And we know how this community is, right? Mm-hmm. The moment we get those numbers on any screen, people are going to immediately start playtesting and then start putting their opinions about the pieces. So it's like, do we want to start that wasp's nest so early?
No, I'd rather not know. I'd rather not know until I get it in my hands. Honestly,
that's literally going to be the third point of contention.
The third point of
see the whole.
This character is an F unit. Why are we, like?
Yeah, they're already gonna put rankings on them already, and I'm just like, oh my god. Could we please just enjoy it?
It's good.
Like I don't even want this figure. This figure is trash.
Like, no, for sure.
For this figure, like
I don't hate the process. I just want the game to exist first, and then we can critique.
Yeah, I would love to grill a playtester and figure out how do they determine what's good, what's bad. What's fun.
They're probably playing every day. Like,
oh yeah, hands down. It sounds like a dream job, but also a stressful one.
Oh yeah, get every power you can. Keep playing, test, play, test, play, test, play, test. Write down notes. But
I'm sure it's a very imaginative process. They can go in and just be able to state their opinion, have a good conversation about it, talk about their likes and dislikes, plus and minuses, and kind of like have this really fun conversation of figuring out what's the best for this particular character, as there's experience for the player.
Yeah. Not. I mean, and they get to play Heroscape. Like they get to play the game, and that's one thing about it too. Is like this happened in the past too, where people in the community were asked to playtest figures. Like I know it specifically happened. Like saying Ken, he's said a story where he playtested Eltahale when she came out for the Dungeons and Dragons set, and like they used to joke like that was his girlfriend because like he tested her and he liked her. But yeah, like. That's just crazy to think about. Like you're given this opportunity to playtest something for the first time, and because of what you're doing, it's going to be finalized. And now throughout the game of Heroscape, like everybody's going to be using these parameters you set for this character. Like that's especially as coming from like a lot of them are coming from the custom side. Like that's probably one of their dreams come true. Is like they get to now work on official units. Which is crazy.
I mean. Yeah, Dadscaper. Like when I was at ScapeCon, they told me to message Dadscaper about working on the bios again for C3V. I had just finished messaging him the week prior to the announcement, and then they're saying he's working on official Heroscape. So I had just emailed him like a week before I realized he's actually doing official Heroscape. So like he's meshed into the customs project. He's been a part of it for this entire time, and they have him here, and he's not the only one. Like there's They have a doc as well. And that's
one of the things that just gives this whole project just merit is because it has dedicated people who love Heroscape, who know Heroscape better than a lot of other people, because they've literally been playtesting and bringing new things to Heroscape for the last 12 years. it's crazy to hear some people say, "Oh, this Heroscape doesn't live up to the true, potential. They're just trying to grab money from our nostalgia," and that's not what it is. It's like this is people who have lived and breathed Heroscape for 12 years, and I know I've said this on the stream before, but it's like they've been around. Craig Van Ness is at the helm. He's like, there's no way.
To get this live.
Again, who's in charge? If it was anybody else, then that might be a valid point. But it's Craig Van Ness. It is basically the father of Heroscape is in charge.
Heroscape better.
You can be confident that if he can't do it, no one can.
Yeah. So 100%.
Put your trust in him, absolutely.
And then also keep in mind the D&D didn't have his name on it. The D&D, the reason almost why it died, if you want to say that,
he even told them not to do D&D.
Still,
he mentioned in the Q&A, he told them not to do D&D, to do Marvel instead, and they didn't listen. And so I mean, look, like.
And look where Marvel is now. What could have happened? Like, that's ridiculous.
He told them not to. But...
Yeah, you guys saw the panel. You guys saw them on stage talking about the game, and you can just see how happy he was talking about the game again, and finally being able to share that with all of us. So if you had any conflicts with backing the game, do it for Craig, man. Do it for Craig.
And again, if you can, I'll say that. I mean, if you're gonna go broke doing it, then please. I mean, don't. No
reason.
I mean, here's the
I know
thing.
Some people have financial constraints, and that's fine. It's okay.
And I think it doesn't necessarily require, if you are not able to fund this financially, you can still share it on social media. You can still do things that could push this project forward that doesn't require financial backing. If you're not able to, that's absolutely fine, right? There's no pressure. No one, we don't want to give off the impression we're forcing you to spend money, right? This is what they need, yes. But, social media goes a long way. Who knows, one tweet could become 1,000 tweets, and just that simple click and that simple, the algorithm sees more and more people talking about it. It will bring that stuff up. The more people to talk about, it. Like that's how hashtags start trending, because more people talk about it. So if you cannot back this project financially, that's absolutely fine, absolutely respectable. But consider sharing it on your social media feeds. And then who knows, by the time everybody's talking about it, that just gets more people on the project, and then we'll get it back. So you're still helping,
Yeah.
I 100% agree with that. I just want to throw my 2 cents in there. If it is going to be a financial burden on you, and you have other obligations, by all means, only support if you are financially able.
Right.
But that does also, you have 45 days. So you can hustle. You can crowdfund yourself, mini crowdfund. Heroscape is a social game. I'm sure you don't play Heroscape by yourself. So if you play with at least one other person, maybe you guys can get together and split the factions that you guys love, It doesn't have to be just one person making that investment. It could be your group of friends. Because how many people play Heroscape with a group of friends? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if everyone in your group of friends is already backing it, then I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the people who, really want to fund. They want to fund this game. They have no, the only problem is, they don't have the money. You have 45 days. You can make it happen. I know you can. If you really love this, I'm not saying if you really love this project, but if you really love this project, if you really are passionate about it, please back it, and also just hustle. You can do it. I know you can. And it is a steep amount to start off with. It is a hard amount to get somebody new into the game. I understand that too. They have to make a big investment of $250 to get into this game. I understand that. But there's other ways around it. Me and my brother are probably going to split our first set. We play for our YouTube channel together. That's an easy way for me to ease the financial burden on myself. But like I said, Heroscape, you're not playing by yourself. So there's probably at least one other person you can try and convince to split it with you. And you guys just split your favorite factions or whatever. That's one thing I've seen Sir Heroscape say. He's like, hey, split it with a buddy. Try. You can do it. I know you can, and it will go a long way in bringing this game back. 100%.
This isn't just for the set. This is for the
my 2 cents.
Yeah, this is the future of Heroscape. That 250 an investment into all the 2 years of ideas they have, plus what you're going to be getting in this box. So like, think of it like that too.
Yeah, you heard them on stage. They said they have tons of ideas, tons of ideas. The game,
yeah.
You know, there's so much they want to do with the game, and everyone, you know, I said it the last time, Third Thursday, is like they have us already when it comes to, you know, everyone's excited for what this is, but then everyone's like, okay, what's next? What's next? What's next? Well, if we want to find out what's next, we got to support this right here, because they will. If there's something that there isn't there for you, that's okay. But they will make it happen at the next expansion, the next set, whatever they plan on doing. I'm sure it's in their imaginations, and they are going to be bringing it to life if we get to at least that 8K backers. That means 8,000 units.
Yeah,
so
it's not even
you get
people,
1, 2, 3, it counts.
Yes.
Yep. That has been confirmed.
We'll see what happens in the coming weeks, and we'll just keep an eye on it for sure. Now, let's...
And also that too,
yeah, go ahead.
Like Joe was just saying, I just want to kind of reiterate that point. This is an investment into the future of Heroscape. So think of it like that. If you're not 100% on board with all the figures, and man, it's a steep amount, but like you're going to be getting Heroscape regardless. Like you're going to be getting Heroscape, and then there's the 100% potential for something you specifically want to be in Heroscape. Like that's the potential is there. If it's not backed, that potential dies 100%. And I hate saying that, and I hate putting it like an ultimatum, but literally, it's,
they said
or nothing. It's all or nothing.
Oh, this
and
is our shot.
I'm all in. So
this is definitely our shot. So
for sure, this is our shot. Like that's the way to put it. This is our shot to bring it back. Like that's
singing
insane.
a Hamilton song. You know,
when you say that out loud, it's insane. Like this is our shot to bring Heroscape back. So for sure.
Now let's go through this a little bit. I mean, I don't want to spend too much time because these are miniatures that, I mean, the past few weeks we've already basically discussed.
We've seen all the art and everything.
Yeah, all the art and everything. But if there's anything you guys feel important to point out, then we can stop. But I mean, what we first cover is like the two, like what are these exclusives basically for this
you
campaign?
get this for back in the Haslab,
right? A Thraxus Dragoon, which is let's see here, that's part of the War Brute. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm all for that. More for my my army of bugs, you know.
For sure.
And Scavarith, Lord of Ruin, as well. I mean, these are just some like pretty big miniatures there, which I'm like, I mean, I think a lot of people aren't really interested, but I think, and I hear an echo. I don't know where it's coming from.
Oh, that might be me.
Oh, okay. But I'm just thinking, what about 5-10 years from now? How valuable these things might be
100%.
if they're exclusive, and it's like everybody would probably be scrambling to get them in the future. I mean, that's just how I'm looking at it, seeing like.
And that's not like the only way that we're looking at it is not for the resale value, but that literally is a reason like to fund the campaign is because these are going to be there exclusively only, like these, and I bet these figures are going to be some powerhouse units too, like they look like it, and so they're going to be the who is it, Sir Hawthorne and the Swag Rider and Master Win Chu. Like how much does that figure go for? Just a singular figure,
a lot,
$200, maybe 150 at least. Like you can't find one cheaper than 150. So these are about to be the next heavy hitters.
Yeah, I never got to go to Gen Con during those releases. So like whenever those units were played back in the day, I was always like, oh man, I wish I went to Gen Con, you know. So it's like this is gonna be our Gen Con moment. Like I wish I backed the Haslab because there's that Thraxus Dragoon destroying my characters.
And if you think of it from that perspective, when it comes to, you know, exclusives, and before we had to just go to Gen Con, this is the cheapest way to get exclusive units. You don't have to get on a plane.
How much does going to Gen Con cost? Just the tickets?
Probably more than this.
Oh, for sure, more than $250 or 100% more.
Yeah.
Thinking about pricing.
I can tell you years ago, Brian, this was like 10 years ago, this thing in 2 years we went to Origins, which is not Gen Con.
Yes.
Our hotel room was $700 for that week.
Oh my god. Yeah,
that was 10 years ago.
That's three Heroscape Vanguard editions. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just math that.
Holy moly.
One hotel room is 3 Heroscape editions.
Commenting on the idea of having a powerhouse miniature that's a rare, hard to find exclusive that's worth a lot of money, that is not a good thing for competitive environment. Even though it sounds cool to be awesome that you had this super powerful thing, it was a bit of a wreak some havoc for the X-Wing game, and people are not happy when this happened. So ideally what they would do is that these sculpts are unique to this set, and that later on you can still buy the unit but a different figure. Yeah, that would be the better way to handle it.
And I think once we get this going, I'm sure that I'm hoping that is the case, especially when it comes to our stretch goals, right? How do you hide these fan favorite characters from anyone else in the world? Like this is how you introduce Heroscape to people, and to make the stretch goals. I think if anything, they should tell us that if they are unlocked, we unlock them for everyone, right? And even saying that sounds kind of like a bad idea, but also it's like I think it's a great incentive to say we get to Raylan, and we go everybody gets Raylan, like this is a pack in itself. This is the next big pack that comes out afterwards.
I mean, it's kind of they could do it either way because the majority of the money, say for Evo Raylan, is getting the molds made, which are thousands upon thousands of dollars. And once you've made that, it wouldn't make a whole lot of financial sense to only make the 8,000 or 16,000 copies, then throw the mold away. Yeah, you could make another 100,000 miniatures out of that mold, no trouble, and you sell it some way, or So I don't know what they would do.
For sure.
And that's the thing too. I don't think those weren't advertised as exclusives. Those were just like unlocked if we got like that's like we're paying to unlock that sculpt, like that like mold, like Jason was just talking about. And I think it could be reprinted like a flag bearer where you only get one in the box and like it's a singular box. I could see that happening where it's like a singular release later on to where you're shelling out the $20 for that specific figure as opposed to getting them all in one. Like that does make sense too.
That's the proper capitalist way to do it, where you have for the hero for this thing, they're all in the box, but then later on the games on stores, you got to buy those 5 heroes separately, each $20 a piece.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
All right, and so let's continue now. Okay, and they get into stretch goals, so let's just cover these. So I mean, stretch goals like Sergeant Drake Alexander unlocked at 10K backers, Sonlin unlocked at 12K, Q11, which is not major Q11, it's just Q11. Interesting. Unlocked at 14K backers. Yeah, you noticed that.
I saw the 11, but I didn't. Yeah, he's just Q11.
It's just Q11, not a major anymore. Shiori, now the Shiori figure is interesting because we're kind of mixed. All of us were right when we were predicting this miniature, because it's like in the concept art, it's like, okay, we're seeing multiple figures here, so this is, I mean, it can't be Shiori because it looks like it's multiple miniatures, and some people are saying, well, it is Shiori because this is what they're hinting at, and it's, yes, everything. It's Shiori in 3 miniatures, so it's gonna be, I think this is the one that I'm, at least the top 5 of what I'm looking forward to the most on what is her story now, and it's why
the Shadow Clone Jutsu,
why this is the way it is. Yeah, I mean, it could be something to that, but I just can't wait to find out. I want to see that stat card.
Yeah, and maybe too.
It even mentions it in the little bio. The ninjutsu mastery. It's going to allow her to attack multiple times. So
right, like she's not going to have hit zones or something like that. Like, yeah, the sculpt is big and there's 3 of her, but like she can't be targeted by ranged attacks or something like that.
She got like a ×3 attack.
of the sculpt or whatever.
Right.
It'd be cool if she has a ×3 attack.
I hope she can move 6 spaces and then she can hit everybody when she walks by them. Like, it's just...
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I just want to say, too, here, there is some lore in these descriptions. Because
I was there when you were going over the other 2 exclusives. Like, we haven't even read those, or we haven't even... Like, that's specifically for this Hasbro.
Yeah, I know. There's stuff to read, but I know it's going to take a lot of time. I mean, if you guys if you guys want to cover something, that's fine. Let's cover it. But it's hard to go through everything and still go to sleep at 2 in the morning. You know?
No. So we'll do real quick because I happen to see that Zetacron's tech upgrade for Sergeant Drake. It was just a name drop with Zetacron, and I thought that was so cool to see.
Oh yeah, there is that right there. Okay, interesting. All right,
yeah, is Zetacron still around? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is good.
And I know
he upgraded him once again though, right? Because wasn't he already upgraded with his grapple arm?
Yeah, his arm was Zetacron tech.
So Zetacron likes him. I think Zetacron.
Yeah. Zetacron's a mechanic. We need more of that. Where's all the Zetacron inventions? I didn't even know he. Like, we had the bio of him being summoned to the world, and then he's mentioned in the bio, and that's it. I'm like, wait, is he making tech for Jandar? Can we get some more of that? That's kind of cool. Move the camera in that direction.
And I know there's comments on the live stream. We're gonna get to those in a second. Just give us a moment. So, do you want to read Drake Alexander's bio then?
I just wanted to just kind of throw that out there. Like I said, I don't want to go too far with them. Yeah. There were just some things in here that were really cool to just mention that of like name drops of different characters.
So
there is stuff to dissect,
which is great.
There, yeah,
which is great. Now here, let me just address a couple comments before we pursue on the scene and get to where were we at here. Could Stormbrook says could Utgar invade, or Utgar, there are multiple ways to say the name, could Utgar invade other planets like Phaland and other planets to prevent them from assisting the war in Valhalla? Possibly.
Because it's already mentioned that he was about to invade Earth, so it would be possible, I mean, theoretically, for him to invade anywhere.
That was his plan. He wanted to take over the galaxy, so...
Oh, and I want to mention too that if you're watching the stream on Facebook through Heroscapers, if you're commenting, I might not see those comments because those don't. I think sometimes those comments don't transfer to the commenting thing on there. So if you have a comment and you commented like below on the Facebook on the Heroscapers Facebook, if a link's there, and I'm not answering those, it's because I can't see them. I apologize. Hopefully it's not the case though. Okay, Undamp Pick says you use glyphs. Kidding, my gaming group never cared for them personally. Hey, you know, Tales of Hell is all about glyphs, and actually, I'll talk about episode 7 near the end of the stream, but we're gonna see some glyphs in episode 7. So yes, we do use glyphs. Let's see here.
Well, the glyphs. Sorry, I always thought it was cool in the little. Like the animated webisode. No, it was the webisode, the one that you have on your channel, Jeremy. Like the whole mem-ring, like stepping on the glyph and powering the units outside. Like that was like cornball recorded, but it was cool to see that. It's like this glyph gives my army power, and just like he steps on it, and like the whole army starts lighting up. Like it was a funny concept of how to bring that game mechanic like to the screen,
to the story.
It was just funny. Glyphs are cool.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let's see. Undamp Pick says, I'm a lot more excited about this knowing CVN is involved. CVN?
Very nice.
Okay. Yes. For sure. Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. What is relevant here? Because I know there's some conversation just going on. Let's see here. Undamp Pick says, I'm not throwing away my shot. Nope.
Undead does say, do you like the order of stretch goal unlocks?
Where is that? Okay, yeah, I'm getting to that.
Further down.
See here, Undead says, I wasn't digging the Nemesis Warbrood until I saw exclusive the exclusive Spider Rider. I like everything that about the Warbrood. I'm just like that's my team. That's just for some reason I just have a thing for that. Do you like the order of the stretch goal unlocks? Yeah, Undead says. I mean, it's not a like or a dislike. That's just how it is. Do I like that Raylan is the last one you get? No, not really. I'd rather her be the first, but at the same time, that's probably why they arranged it that way. So, I mean, it just is what it is. You know, can't do much about it. Stormbrook says, Drake has some Captain America vibes, and he's got a grappling hook and a jetpack. Don't you wish he had the wings instead? In a game from a game mechanic perspective, no. Visually, I think, and we talked about this in previous podcasts, to where it'd be great to add the wings on different characters. Like I think Joe Crazy was mentioning actually in one of his videos, like if you attach the wings to the Airborne Elite, and if I would like that, and I said yes, I would like that. That's one of Joe Crazy's videos. And so if that type of thing were to happen, that would be kind of cool. If some of the Airborne Elite would survive, you know, up to that point, and then they have wings instead of Valkyrie lifting them to places. They have their own wings to go to places. I think that would be.
It'd be crazy though if like one of them died, and so it's only a squad of 3, but they can all fly now. How awesome would that
be? Ryan, how do you feel about that?
No, well, I mean, and for those of you who haven't watched Tales of Valhalla, Toothpick can already fly with the Wind Elemental's power.
There you go.
So, no, I'm not.
That's one.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I'm not. You know, I'm not. I'm not totally against those ideas. So yeah, we'll just have to see. Hey, okay, now let's get back to this. So those are the stretch goals then. And it's like, oh, Raylan. And then we get into just the faction pieces. Now, is there anything anybody wants to talk? Like I said, I recommend, and if you're watching this on YouTube or the ToV podcast, there will be links for, of course, the Hasbro Pulse website to look at the information. Not necessarily to back it, but just look at all the information that's on the page here, more than we can cover tonight. So there will be links for that. First we got Dryan Lifeborn Order, and of course we have our wonderful dragon there, Zenithrax, the Soul Weaver. That was the big mouth opener from the very beginning. So
literally,
there's that dragon, and so far it's the only dragon we've seen. We know they got more dragon. Well, no, with the exception of Sonlin.
Sonlin's older dragon.
Yeah, but we know there's more dragons coming for sure. But yeah, I mean,
we finally got a name for the Mistress of Tides. We didn't have that before with the concept art.
Yeah, they've added names.
Oh yeah, all of them. I've been peeping that like they all have like titles and like names now. Like. That's
they updated the sign. The original sign in the wild is actually
which is the Corruptor of Beasts, and however you pronounce that. How do you pronounce that, guys?
Haluchat. Yeah, that's what I think.
Haluchat.
Yeah. And we have like what are these guys? Bats or winged creatures here? Or wait.
Chana.
They're Welkanai.
The Zenith Wing.
Wait, Onashu, the Welkanai. And Chana,
those are the familiars.
Zenith Wing, yeah, some of the familiars. So they're animals that we've never they're not from this earth. They're not from this earth.
Kita the Spring Runner is adorable. I can.
That's the magic teleporting dog.
Oh my god, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I think that was the one creature I picked out that I thought was like the coolest one in the design. So I'm kind of glad to see that one made.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Desecrator of Death. That's just a wonderful name. Oh, wonderful title. It's like you just walk in, it's like you walk into this like old-fashioned English party, and where someone announces your name, and it's just Rakashat, Desecrator of Death, and he just walks into the room and just like
And we actually
I do want to note too, his base is like a lot different. I mean, maybe I'm scrolling up and like Drake's has a little bit of action going down on the actual base, but his is like raised and he's like popping out of his base. I just think that's one of my favorite sculpts from this. Like, and we've seen it before, obviously, but it's just.
Yeah, if there's anything to take away that I hope that does change, because not many people talk about it, and it's not something that I'm too vocal about, is that they're not going to get those stickers when they're not going to be on stickered bases.
Right.
But if there's anything we're going to get more out of, or additions to, for example, even with Key to the Spring Runner or any of the other characters, is that the bases have sculpts on them a lot like the Rock Shot. Sure. So they're making each character even more unique, including with the base. Obviously can't go on a ladder rung, but hey, I mean, it's probably doesn't need it. He probably can't. He's rooted in the ground. He can't.
Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I don't think this miniature moves very fast.
No.
Yeah, and Rockshot, they actually had a power preview in the panel. Craig was talking about how it has a thing called Consume the Dead. And then if you get destroyed, you get to put a consume marker on the card, and that I guess that boosts power and stuff like that. So there's gonna be like the special attacks or something related to characters dying near Rakshot. So
nice.
Yeah, I love that.
And as a note, there does not appear to be any ladders in this set. So
no ladders. But just saying for those that do have ladders. That some of these characters we probably would be using with those pieces.
Everybody says though the ladders rules definitely need revision. Like they need to go back and clarify what they actually mean when they say what they say in the rules.
When that came up, was the most hilarious and fun week with Heroscape. Taking the quiz that the Heroscapers made up was so much fun. It was one of those things where it's like, wait a minute, like you really had to think about it. Like it's only show is like one ladder rung on a piece, and they're like give you a snare like, when this character does this, does it do that? And I go, does it do that? I don't know. Let's find out. Like, I'll just guess. It seems obvious, but it isn't apparently.
And you have a ladder video too, right, Joe?
Yes. Yeah. It's actually pretty highly viewed. It's quite hilarious that's the one that gets highly viewed.
Go to Joe's YouTube page and find it. Yeah, it's a fun one. All right, now moving on to Nemesis Warbrood. This is my favorite. These are definitely my favorite guys.
Seeing the Oathband Flanix figure for the first time is an absolute blast.
I loved that. Like I was literally showing I made the figures video for my YouTube. I made it and I showed it to my wife and I literally pointed at the screen when that one came by and I'm like, wow, this one gets me every time I see it. Like they're just it's just comical. It's so good, it's comical. It's just so funny. It's funny to me. I love it.
Now for the game mechanic part, are the mini wound tokens meant for multiple characters?
I think so.
You know how the Dawn Raider Syndicate?
They mentioned squads having multiple life.
Right.
Yeah.
And
that's going to be
probably
crazy.
What we're talking about. So it's going to be an interesting way to look at game cards actually for these things too. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I'm definitely gonna build an army from these guys for sure. These are probably gonna be my go-to army just because I like it. I like it a lot. All right, Dawn Raider Syndicate. And of course,
I think these ones are the ones that you're going to have maybe more than one of these squads. I mean, more than these squads, but I think these are the reason why we have these miniature wound tokens. Because if you look at the Dreadnoughts of New Tortuga, which is crazy that's the name. It's funny, Jeremy pointed that out yesterday, New Tortuga. So that means humans have come to Valhalla, found a covert inlet, and they named it New Tortuga. That's so crazy.
Where's Captain Jack Sparrow then? We need a Captain Jack
Exactly.
Sparrow.
Well, it's straight out of pirate history.
Exactly.
Tortuga is the place for pirates, and both in the Disney series and in just pirate heritage in general, Tortuga's a big name. So there's a new Tortuga in Valhalla apparently, and it's occupied by all these Heroscape species. Yeah. And that's great. I'm backing for the pirates.
I'm calling for I'm calling for a Captain Jack Sparrow miniature or something similar to kind of indicate or just say Captain Jack and just leave out Sparrow or something to that, or Captain Jack Dove. Or something to that aspect, to where it's hinting towards that, but it's a different person, but it is. That would be fun. That would be very.
Maybe he's French. He's like Jacques Sparrow, you know.
Jacques Sparrow.
I am French. Can't you tell by my outrageous accent? I cannot do French. It's funny. I have ancestors who are French. I cannot do the accent. Nope. All right, and
I feel like the Dawn Raider Syndicate has the most figures or the most like people in it.
Right. Well,
the Giant Lightborn Order is kind of close, but it's just because there's multiple figures with the squads, it just feels like there's just so much more of the Dawn Raider Syndicate, which I'm not hating. Like I actually really like damn near everybody in this like in the Syndicate. So
yeah,
it's not a bad thing.
You got Morrow, you got pirates, you got like Solbergs probably. You've got
the Solberg pirates.
Yeah, exiles. You got
humans.
Yeah, you got you got what looks like a different, like the dreadnoughts look like a variation of Gorillinators almost. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a Primadon.
Yeah,
Chris mentioned it.
There you go.
Didn't they mention the Gorillinators in the Haslab thing, that they're in this faction?
Yeah, I think he was pointing to the Primadon. Yeah, the Dreadnoughts when he mentioned it.
Awesome.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. Like these guys are so beefy. The Dreadnoughts, like, how could they be one shot kill? Like they definitely have to have more than one life.
It's crazy.
Like, all
it's
these
like
guys.
a Primadon serving Utgard too. That's another thing because that was
I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
That's right. They're red.
So,
yep.
Whoa. Yeah.
So
it's
I just
curious to hear about that.
Seeing all of this together like makes me like the Dawn Raider Syndicate more because other than the actual like the push the stretch goals, like this is the biggest tie to previous Heroscape.
This is our veteran reference. You know?
Yeah.
And remember during. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was saying like that's obvious, duh. Like that's gonna be the biggest one for us, but still, it's like just seeing it all here together is just like wow, like they're really, throwing it back.
And remember when they came out with the concept art and we were talking about how they work with the captains and their crew, and so now we get to see this, and we see how all the different generals, how many different versions of generals that are in here, and even though they don't follow one because of their lore, but have this push and pull of like which captain you're taking, with what crew, and what captains work the best together with that crew.
Yeah.
And so that the most Heroscape thing you can see is seeing Einar with Uthgar and Vidar and Jandar all working in different teams, and then we also have Aquila, which is super awesome.
The dwarf, right? We get another dwarf.
I mean, that's a dwarf hero too, so that's going to work with the axe grinders, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Doran.
That's going to be a really interesting combo to try.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, it's a wonderful mix, and I appreciate the colors because you can instantly know what faction they belong to instead of everything just being a bland color. Which I know some people are saying, oh, it's too bright. Oh, it's too colorful. It's but it actually is a good identifier. Like I said, you don't have to paint these things, and you immediately know what faction they're from, how to use them, and how to play them on the field. So it's just a very good indicator.
Absolutely.
Why
Yeah.
does the Dawn Raider Syndicate have colors?
Because
they use the term. Well, hold on. They use the term report to in Haslab presentation, but these guys are independent. So I mean, why would they just
it's probably
not make
because
them their own
it's what general they used to be under.
Who's summoned and then they broke off from that general,
That's
or
not
who
the
hired
term
them.
they used during the presentation.
Oh, okay.
Unless they used the wrong term.
What did they say? Because
they used the
we watched the
phrase
presentation,
report
but
to.
They what?
They used one of the Craig Van Ness, one of them said the colors represent who they report to, which Valkyrie general they report to, not summoned by or used to serve or something. They used the phrase report to. So there's a bit of a conflict in terms of lore and miniature design here, and I mean it's no reason why you can't do it this way.
Right.
Plus, you remember you have the lore of the Morrow guy is that he still seems to want to take them over in the name of Uthgar. Or was that the demon guy? I don't remember.
Yeah, Cornelius Breach. Yeah.
Was that Cornelius? Oh, was that Cornelius? Was he the one? Was the kind of
the Uthgar pirate?
And Stormbrook says it's a new mechanic they're probably adding. I mean, it could be just like how they're. I mean, the way they said it, it's just report to maybe or who they used to answer to or something. I'll have to get a clarification.
It wasn't a scripted event. Like they weren't already. They were going things off the cusp. So it's just probably the wording they did, and we probably can't read too much into it until we actually see actual descriptions of these characters. Because it's interesting though, because you have the Lightborn Order that had full descriptions. Not Blackborn. You had the stretch goals had description for all those characters, and for all the rest of them, it's just names.
Right.
So until we see those descriptors, or until they hire Jeremy, that we'll find out this information.
Come on, people. He's right here. In the contract.
I will write all of them. Like I will, absolutely. Chris, I have time to do it.
It's an Undam Pick. I just want to say, Undam Pick says, when it was first announced, I'm like, okay, this is a great opportunity to learn to paint minis. After seeing this preview, I like it a lot and probably won't be painting mine after all. Like I said, I mean, you can if you want to, but it's not really necessary to start playing right away.
Well,
yeah, you can play immediately from getting the box and paint over time. Get into the game as soon as you get it, and then paint as you go. There is no rush to paint at all. It designed it to be play as soon as you get.
It is.
Yeah, see them on the board at the panel, instead of seeing these 3D renders and seeing the actual, of course, studio lighting, but imagine that being your dining room table or your living room, and how the light shines off of these models. And I hope whatever material that they use, once the project is funded, is very similar to this, because the way it shines is amazing. How the light and the shadows of these figures really just like you see all the details, and it makes the figure look so beautiful on the table. And I will say that, like, if you let's say build a map, set up a thing from last night, you come down in the morning, you look at the table and go, damn, that looks good.
And also say something from like a marketing perspective too. Younger, like kids, like younger than 18, bright things usually attract their eye more.
Yeah.
So they might see a commercial and be like, "Oh, mom and dad, look, I see this bright thing. Oh, let's get this." And it's like kids are usually the best salesmen in those. I know it's like kind of like it's not underhanded, but it's like you know what your target audience is. I mean, it's pretty much everybody. And so, and so I mean for the adults as well as the kids, and I think this would attract kids a lot more with even though it blinds my eyes a little bit, some of the brightness of the stuff, especially what we're going to be like scanning over next. But it's a very, very minor complaint. Like, yeah, say Clockwork Combine here. I mean, the bright yellowish green fun,
Yeah.
Right.
Is Captain higher or lower than Marshall? Because what happened to Zed Nesbitt? Did he get demoted?
Air Marshal? Zed Nesbitt. I don't know.
It might just be they don't want to use the term captain between this guy and the
pirates. The pirates, yeah, makes sense.
That makes sense.
But that means that we can't use them together.
Yeah,
so maybe that's why as well.
Yeah. They don't want you to bond Zed Nesbitt with the pirates.
Yeah.
And look at Tuck Harrigan there. I mean, he's just a little guy, but he's a little guy that probably packs a big punch.
Oh my
Daredevil.
Good
He's going to jump in and attack everyone first.
good old Tuck.
And Ryan, I don't know if you caught this. Craig had said about the Void Glide Strikers, and they actually are like the Airborne Elite a lot, because they don't.
Oh yeah, I see that.
They don't start on the battlefield. You bring them in by order marker.
Yeah. So every order marker you activate drops one on the field. That's what it is.
Yeah.
There's 4 of them. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Is that why there's an order marker on the Age of Annihilation?
Maybe.
Board.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I think somebody asked that.
Someone did ask that. I'm not entirely sure because, like, I mean, if you look, they don't even have numbers on them. So,
because I did notice, I'm like, you know, what are these people talking about? And I thought they were talking about wound markers, but they were talking about tiny wound markers and an order marker on the board. Yeah.
Yep. You see that? And it's been a question, like, what is that about?
Right.
Especially, like, you can see also, like, I can't zoom into this, but I can't really. But there is one of the miniatures there that is. Well, we're gonna see the concept art for these in a second, but one of the Valkyries miniatures that they also plugged for us during that event. So not only are you getting all of these, but there's also Valkyrie miniatures that they're working on too, which is really cool. So
that was the exclusive PulseCon reveal.
Yes. Here, okay. Let me scroll down again. So, and of course we have the bears, which we covered just this past week too. So we know all about those.
Ordo Borealis.
Yeah, the bears there, and see Ironclad Collective. I mean, these guys are just very interesting. But is there only 3? There's only 3 of these guys, right?
There's only 3, but of course, when back you get one more.
You get the Lord of Ruin as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
But more than enough that I need.
Oh yeah. And then introducing these brave Kyrie warriors. Some are good, some are evil, but all are skilled soldiers. And so we got the concept art for these. Like I said, we see one, at least one.
It looks like the Revna one, so it is orange. Yeah.
Miserex, yeah.
Yeah, because there's some Kyrie for Revna, and these Revna Kyrie, they don't look too good. They don't.
No, they don't. They have the skulls of their enemies.
Craig mentioned in the Discord that one of them was hanging out with Cyprian too much. So I guess a hint to some powers, maybe a chilling touch or something like that, or a vampire base power. They get to heal their wound markers.
Now, I wonder how Sonya feels about that.
Think about this. What about a Valkyrie vampire?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know.
What if one of them is a vampire, like a Valkyrie turned vampire?
Like, taught the secrets of the undead.
Or just was bitten.
Right.
And became a vampire.
But do we know
any fangs yet?
Do we know if Cyprian works like that? Is he like a true lore vampire?
They never gave us. I know he has powerful magic because he turned his brother into the monster.
Yeah. Marku.
So, but like we don't know exactly if he was able to turn anybody into vampires. Like if it's a traditional story like that, or they drop his name, they drop his concept, and then they went to other paths. And I'm like, man, you had a vampire lord. You could keep using him.
Let's
that would be sick though.
Yeah, go ahead.
A healed Marku that is now fighting for Jandar.
Right.
Like he's a vampire in Jandar.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be so fun.
I would like to see what he really looks like,
Yeah. He's just super handsome. Just like
handsome
Chris
Squidward.
Pratt,
Chris Pratt.
They get Chris Pratt as a model for the character.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm not sure how this worked, I'll leave that to people's imagination because this is a kid-friendly show. Okay, now let's try getting the names of some of these. Miserex.
Yeah, Miserex.
Miserex. Okay. With the Q be silent in this one? Hiron.
I don't know. Would the Q be silent? I said Kyrion, but
Kyrion. Okay, Kyrion sounds fair. Ziamara.
Yeah, she. That's the question, because usually when you have an X in front of it, it's like she. Like you make the SH sound.
Okay.
Yamara. Yeah.
Glenerva, I think that's the
Glenerva, yeah.
Glenerva, yeah. Aquila's there.
Yep. Yeah. Love that Moon Tribe aesthetic too. Like they got it. They nailed it down.
Milky.
It's a Mielki, I think.
Miel.
Yeah.
It does have an Old Norse sound to that one.
Volorak Valkyrie there. Volorak was mentioned, but we haven't really explored too much.
Look at the horns. The horns. That's Giant Life-born Order.
Yeah, nice. There you go. Killerax, right? Killerax.
Yeah.
Or Kilk.
Kilkorax, yeah.
She got some powerful magic.
Yeah, it does. That's somebody you don't want to meet in the dark alley for sure. And then Utgar Valkyrie here.
Yeah, with the axe.
The Vitak.
Yeah, and it has an umlaut on the A in the name, so it's like talk, like a long O or long A, yeah. Leviathan.
I can do that. I can do some comedy too for ToV if that would if this character introduced to someone just introducing Leviathan.
The long A, yeah.
And they just pass out. Because she makes them just do that, you know. It's like no, you got to keep on saying the A until I tell you not to, and then they just pass out. And then
that's how evil she is.
She chops
just
off
has
their
the
heads.
axe
chops off
hovering
their heads
over
with
them
the axe.
until they say it long enough, and then she just like
I love that armor.
All right,
it's good armor.
Yeah. And then modular terrain, of course. I mean the trees, the trees. It's just like I'm just gonna play this because it's 7 seconds of just like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I mean just your Takala jungle trees, and bushes, are $250 practically. Yes, you got the spiders.
Average.
Okay, include the spiders stuff, but it's like if you find it for less than $250, even $250, email me because I'd like to see and purchase them because it's really hard to find. It is.
Yeah,
really
somebody was talking about that, and I just linked them the page to All Things Heroscape. Say, here, go ahead, buy it. Go ahead.
I've heard though it's still like it's coming down. Like it's actually been taking a hit in the price since the new stuff has been
it's had to
drop.
Yeah.
Well, and
Yeah,
it
so we
will
don't need
eventually. I think it will. I mean, it'll still be exclusive, but eventually all the old Heroscape stuff. Eventually going to run out of new stuff, and then eventually everything's just going to deteriorate,
Yeah.
And then of course, so at the end of this, everything in the box. So we're coming to the end of this, and let's just read, especially for the ToV podcast audience. So this is what we are eventually going to get, excluding stretch goals. It says here. So there's more to it, but this is what you get: 71 miniatures, 50 army cards, 74 hex tile terrain pieces. So basically a space of 74. That's a lot. 68 lower wall terrain pieces, 3 lower tree pieces, 6 lower underbrush pieces. It's just so much. 12 combat dice, 1 20-sided die. It's not like we have enough of those. 10 glyphs, 26 wound markers, 12 tiny wound markers, 16 order markers, updated rule book, and wasn't there something else as well? There were 2 books, right? So here it says updated rulebook, but I thought there was a rulebook as well as another.
Yes,
book.
on the I had to double check. Yes, so on the PulseCon app or the Hasbro Pulse website, they do mention a campaign book. So I'm not exactly sure why there is a lost in translation with the website and the app. But they do say there will be 2 books. Maybe they found a way to put everything into 1 book opposed to 2 books. I'm not exactly sure, but I don't think it's a big thing to get up in a war about.
Right. And I think it's just because maybe the website hasn't been updated because they still have as a banner on top here. Today is the day Hasbro PulseCon is back. Tune in live on our YouTube channel at 1 p.m. So they haven't updated this yet.
Yeah, it seems I think that's why if you have to push anything, push the app, download the app more than going to the website
for the phone app. Yeah, I mean get both. I'd say get both, but for sure. So that's basically it in a very, very big nutshell. Everything that the Vanguard edition is going to get. There's a lot here. We just spent almost an hour and a half going through all that. So there is. I mean, you can argue about the price all you want. There's a ton of value here. There's a ton of value here. So yeah, for sure. If you can, definitely invest in it. Just I mean, let's bring this game back for sure, for certain. And I think well, I guess that would be the end of the live stream tonight. I mean, we covered a lot, and I'm sure we're gonna, like, next week we'll address comments and whatever. If there's any other updates for this coming week, we'll definitely talk about next week. As well as I do want to mention one thing, that Tales of Valhalla episode 7 is near finally near completion, and the date that I'm going to be setting to release that and have a fun premiere party here live on Twitch will be, see, what was it, October 19th. Wednesday, October 19th is that date. I won't announce anything publicly, like officially publicly, social media wise, until probably like this weekend. I'll have to make sure that everything gets wrapped up good. But yeah, that's coming. And so, I mean, so watching the episode as well as promoting Vanguard coming out, it's a wonderful time for the episode to release. So I look forward to that. But anyway, okay, let me look at the Twitch comments again. Thank you everybody for commenting, especially Stormbrook on Damp Pick. Thank you guys for your comments. Let me see here. What is coming? We can address these real quick before we sign off. Let's see here. Undead Pick says, although I did pledge for 2 copies, don't know yet if I want one painted or one unpainted, or have to keep one sealed. I think I'm going to keep one sealed. I might get 2, and if I do, yeah, definitely keep one sealed.
Learning from my mistake from last year's game.
Exactly. We need to save these things. So 20, 50 years from now, you know, when our grandkids are like saying, you know, what can you reveal to us? It's like, here you go. This game.
The battle of all time. You gotta do it in the whole narrative voice too.
Yeah.
I got
this old grandpa style. The battle of all time. It's like
now,
revealing it to them.
Undamp Pick says, I'm just Oh, go ahead, Jason. Go ahead.
Just as a funny little comment when it comes to collecting old stuff, if you want to see something interesting, go on eBay, and if you look back from McDonald's stuff from the 1980s, the Happy Meal boxes are worth more than the toys.
Oh my gosh.
Everybody kept the toys trying to resell them, but nobody kept the boxes you got the stupid food in.
That's
just saying.
wild.
Well, it's probably because everybody has those toys. Not many people have those, so it's like the rare, rare issue.
So 50 years from now, maybe people just want the box that Heroscape.
I wish I kept the Heroscape box.
I mean, I got the Swarm of the Morrow box. I'm pretty sure it's in pretty decent shape. Who wants the box? Okay, you want the cardboard? Cool.
I'm pretty sure you could sell it. You could sell that.
Oh my god.
Give it another 50 years, and that's probably gonna be the case. Undamp Pick.
I want the Takala Jungle box. Got that map in there, and I didn't even know about. Like,
Undamp Pick says, I'm just disappointed I can't add on more trees for my pledge. Would have liked 3 sets or more. Well, you know what, Undamp Pick? I think the possibility that once this campaign is done, that the plans for like having these be separate sets to purchase individually, I think is going to be on the table. I'm pretty positive it's going to be. I think this, I mean, like I said, they don't even call this a master set. So they might design something or separate things in the future, more than likely, because just the public outcry for saying we want individual things, I think, is very strong, and I think they're going to listen to that and apply it.
I feel like the only thing. Oh, go ahead.
The name Vanguard Edition implies that this is the front of the line, or the first thing out in front. Yep. And that this is basically for probably the diehard Heroscape people and not the general public. But I don't know.
Right, and let's see. There was a Facebook. Numbnut Pick also says there was a post on Facebook that 50 army cards is 25% of what was released for Classic Escape. Wait, what?
He's saying the post is saying that us getting 50 army cards in this one set is 25% of what was released in the original set. Like all together, if you took everything at what Classic Escape included, from Rise of Valkyrie to Wave 10, right? We're getting 25% of that in just one box.
Right.
With this pack.
So a quarter of what
originally came out.
Okay, I get it. Okay, I get it now. Okay, for sure. Yeah, I mean, roughly, probably.
It's huge.
Which means,
enormous.
I mean, like I said, this isn't everything. This is everything they have right now, but this isn't everything. So yeah, just aye. And then Realoy Spankin says GG's. Right. Okay, and so yes, so just want to give a shout out just to Undamped, Marion, Erbol, Erbol, Realoy Spankins. Am I missing any? Stormbrook. Thank you guys so much for commenting on the stream. I don't think I missed anybody else besides you wonderful people who were talking to some of these lovely people here on the chat. Thank you so much for chatting, keeping the conversation going. And so we will now go through the segment of ending this live stream, and I guess we'll do just final thoughts. Give a shout out to the content creations that you guys do. Links to whatever. Let's start. Ben, let's start with you.
Final thoughts. Just do what you can. You know, if it's not financially, use your voice, use your social media. Just do anything you can to get the word out. And for the people that can, please do. You know, not trying to force anybody, like we said earlier. If it's beyond your means, we completely understand that. We do wish you could, back it as well. Like it's not we're not against that. You can't. We're not telling you to go broke. We're not telling you to take out another credit card. We're just saying, if you can, please do. If you can't, find some other way to help us reach that goal. Because this is for all of us. This isn't something specific. This isn't just my set that I'm getting. It's purchasing one of these sets or trying to back one of these sets is literally a step further in bringing back this game that we all love so much. So just think about it that too, as you're helping the community while helping yourself get this awesome new Vanguard set. So just keep that in mind. We're all rooting for you. We're all rooting for each other. Keep it positive. I know a lot of discussion has been negative, but we just want to keep it positive, and we just want to encourage people, just keep it positive. That's one of the real big reasons why this community has kept going. That's one of the reasons why I loved this community coming into it, is because we're such a tight-knit community, and we can pull together when we need to. So let's prove that point. And I'm MK Plus Ultra. I have a channel, MK Plus Ultra. That's my channel name. So go there. Heroscape battle videos. I got a lot of them. Just a lot of Heroscape related content. And also you can find me on Instagram at MK_plus_ultra. I've been saying that wrong the whole time, but MK_plus_ultra. That's my Instagram. Tons of updates from Age of Annihilation, tons of Heroscape content. So go there if you want more Heroscape content. My YouTube is full of Heroscape content, but MK Plus Ultra. You might see me too in the Heroscapers Facebook group. I'm Ben Oliveira. That's my name. So shout out me there. YouTube, Instagram. I'm there.
And Undamped Pick says, or back 5 sets.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, love the sense of humor on Undamped Pick. All right, Joe.
Yeah. I love. This is great. Oh boy. I like the walls a lot. I can't wait to play with all of the walls. I'm so excited for these castle walls. I love the design of them. Figures aside, juggle trees aside, this is the most unique thing coming out of this set. I really do believe that. Just the way they have to be able to customize these, how more efficient they are than any of the terrain that we've ever seen before. I just love the possibilities with this because you can swap them out very easily. They could make new versions, new walls, new types of archways. It's super exciting. They're stackable. You can make super awesome, cool stuff with this stuff. I can't wait. I just, oh my god, I want to build so much with these. I want to play with these. I'm such a child.
Why can't Christmas be tomorrow?
I know. Don't worry. I'll be making a whole video of me oogling over the castle walls, so it's okay. And you can find me. Make that video on my YouTube channel at JoeCrazy3193. You can find this beautiful mug over there, and you guys can do all the buttons and let me know what you guys think. We're gonna be oogling over all this stuff this whole month.
Yep,
so
all 45 days.
All 45 days, man. I'm gonna try to get something at least 1 or 2 each week. I'm trying so hard to get pump out the excitement out of me, because it's the only way for me to really express my feeling is to create this content, not just for myself but for you guys. So I'm Joe Crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm Joe Crazy. Thanks, Ryan.
Jeremy.
All right. So right now, final thoughts. We're at 1,271 backers, so about like 15% of the way there.
Dude,
so,
5 minutes ago it was at 265. Jesus.
Yeah. So
every time I refresh the page,
it's getting bought, which I huge thank you to everyone that's putting that down. Why am I thanking you? Because this thing is like, I like to think about it. It takes time, I take the time to think about it. But like, Heroscape is a big reason why I became a writer. Like, this is what inspired me to do it, because Heroscape gave me those ideas. I wrote those, started writing those down. I published them on Heroscapers, and I had members of the forum tell me I was really good at what I was doing. And then they gave me an opportunity to write for C3V. Like, they were the first ones to get me to really think about it. And they're like, yeah, I know you're good at this. You should keep doing this. If it wasn't for Heroscape, I don't know if I would have become any sort of writer or writing capacity. I don't know if I would ever took that first step. But Heroscape was what got me to take that step. So it's a big thing for me, right? And so that's why I'm thanking you for backing. And I'm really, really excited to see the future of this game and, putting everything. I got some pretty cool ideas that I want to put out as well to help promote the brand and talk about the brand and explain the story behind everything. So I'm really looking forward to get that stuff out there for you. I got some cool stuff to show. I'm really cool surprise too that I've had in the works. There's a little surprise in the works that I want to show off. So hoping to get that out soon. So of course you can catch me on the Eslam Collate. It's the stream, the project that I work on, the channel where I document the lore and narrative design of video games and board games, including Heroscape. And you can catch me on Twitter. You can catch me on Twitch. I go live on Twitch there, and then upload my stuff on YouTube. So yeah, there it is.
Jason.
I'm Jason, the creator of the Tabletop Battlefield over at tabletopbattlefield.com, and that'll give you a link to my YouTube videos. And also Legends of Caledassia over at EmpireUnderSiege.com for some space combat action.
Absolutely. And I'm Ryan, Tales of Valhalla. And like I said, pretty soon episode 7 is going to be released in the next few weeks. Join me this coming Wednesday when I do probably do the finishing touches, or probably will edit the music of episode 7 into there. So join me Wednesday night at that time. And I think and again, thank you to Sir Heroscape for joining us for a little bit at the beginning of the live stream. Always welcome to come back. Glad to have you on for that time to have discussion with you. Always awesome. I think I'm just going to put it this way: us as content creators have a unique opportunity, because I have this feeling that, and I heard this saying one time, a single grain of rice can tip the scale. Meaning that all it takes is one person to make a difference. And so if we influence at least one person to go towards that, that might make the difference between the crowdfunding campaign succeeding or not, or getting Raylan or not.
Yeah,
you just never know. So we really need to go and as much as we possibly can to promote this, because like Sir Heroscape said, the common ground is we all want Heroscape back, and that's the driving force that we should be going toward. And if all of you don't have time to live stream tonight, or live stream or make videos, sharing is an easy way to do it, for sure.
Super easy.
Yeah, super easy. So it's just I mean, I'm half asleep right now, but I just the next wait a second, how many days, let's see here, the correct time, 44 days, 1 hour and 1 minute. In that time, I mean, just it's going to be interesting to see the progression, and when we come together again next week, where we're at in the campaign will really tell us where things are going to go. So just look forward to that, everything coming next week. And I just realized, looking at, I have actually an issue in my OBS. I'm just going to be honest with this. I forgot to hit record. So I have to like download this now from Twitch. Hopefully I'll be able to do that. Otherwise I can't share this on YouTube. Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah, that's kind of a big technical difficulty, big whoopsie. But I'm as human as the next person. I make mistakes, and I have to remember to hit start record before I do anything else on the stream. Okay, but anyway, let's see here. Stormbrook just says, "Well, all right, it'd be cool if they gave you a free set for you all to share and battle it out." It would. It would.
I would do, Chris. We would do a lot of videos, a lot of content. You'd have our channels by the chain for a very long time.
I mean, if it's not for the Vanguard edition, maybe it's for the Valkyrie edition that they come next. Who knows?
We'll see. We'll see. But we're definitely these next 44 days. We're definitely in the fight for Heroscape's future, whether it be through this or in the way that things used to be. But we want this. The community wants this. I mean, we've been celebrating ever since we saw the initial teaser trailer. So we're going to keep on doing what we can to make this done. Absolutely. So with that, again, thank everybody for watching. Hit all the buttons for everybody. And of course, links in the description below if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you're watching this on ToV Podcast Audio Sphere, just thank you for watching. Thank you for providing support and subscribing, or anyway, as well as going to Conductor Productions Twitch for these live streams. You all have a purpose in your life. Find it, pursue it, live it, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye now.
Later.
See you guys later.